So hello and welcome to Sacrea Cooking, where you learn to cook with creativity and confidence. And today we have a very important health topic. I will talk about inflammation, what it is, what you can do about it, and in the end I also have a nice anti-inflammatory salad for you. I will also explain to you which foods you can eat to make your inflammation better, and then also which foods to avoid if you want to reduce your inflammation. And since most people who live in the Western world, who eat this kind of diet that most people eat, who live the lifestyle that a lot of people have, especially in cities, basically everybody has inflammation. And it is connected to a lot of illnesses, so it's a really important topic to talk about, and it's really good for you to know what causes inflammation, how you can improve it, how you can improve how you feel in your body. So, let's get started. So, first of all, what is inflammation? So, inflammation is a state of the body where if you have a cut or bruise or something very specific and the immune system sends certain cells, it will create inflammation, but this is used to heal this area of your body. Usually it raises the body temperature. It's meant to heal. But then afterwards, these cells aren't meant to stay in that area or are not meant to travel everywhere else or create inflammation everywhere. That's not good for us, it's not good for our body. On top of that, the body is constantly trying to fight off something, like either through stress or through the diet, particles, nutrients in the diet. It takes a lot of energy from you, and your body would need this energy for proper digestion or for fighting off real issues, real illnesses that you maybe have lurking in your body. But your body can't do that if it's constantly busy with the inflammation. So it's not good to have any kind of chronic inflammation going on in your body, which is what most people have in this western side of the globe. And furthermore, in some cases, if your immune system is used to being up on a high level of alert all the time, it can falsely start to attack some tissues in some areas that are perfectly healthy, which can lead to reduction of that tissue. It can lead to autoimmune diseases. Also other diseases are connected to inflammation. And why do most people here in the Western world have it? It's mostly because of food, and it's also the lifestyle. A lot of stress, overworking. You cannot calm yourself down. Even if you leave work, everything is stress everywhere. It's not really a state where our body should be in all the time. Stress is not a bad thing, but if it's constant, it's really, really harmful for us. And then the two most important things you can do to reduce or even eliminate your inflammation in your body is to de-stress. There are ways to do that even if you have somewhat of a busy life. Try to simplify and really change your diet. That's one of the easiest things. Yes, of course it takes time and effort to change the way you eat, but you can do it step by step. You can start adding things that are anti-inflammatory, such as turmeric, which is highly, highly anti-inflammatory. A lot of people have much less symptoms just by taking turmeric, but bear in mind that it only helps as long as you take it. If you stop taking it, the inflammation will come back. So if you want to eliminate the issue at the cause and not just eliminate the symptoms, you cannot just rely on turmeric. It's not enough, unfortunately. And yeah, one thing is to start step by step. Other thing is to go full in, do it for a while until you really feel like you feel better, and then you can start to introduce a few foods that you might think are not as bad for you. So you do some form of an elimination diet and then you reintroduce just to see if your body can handle it. That's a smart thing to do as well. But with everything and with all diets and all health advice, it's the most important to listen to your body. And I don't mean you stop eating sugar and you have sugar cravings. That's not listening to your body. I mean, in some way it is, but it's not. You listen to the gut bacteria that's used to sugar. You don't listen to your body and what it really needs. I would never tell anybody to just go with one type of health advice and completely forget their own body. Because whatever a food does, your body knows best what it needs right now in this moment. And now I will start to talk about which foods to avoid if you want to reduce the inflammation in your body. So one of the first ones that you have in a lot of food are vegetable oils. If you think about soy, if you think about sunflower oil, if you think about rapeseed oil. Also, oil derived from corn and palm is really inflammatory, highly inflammatory. And nowadays a lot of products, especially ready-made products, they have that, so we all consume it. The second thing that you can find in most ready-made products is sugar. Just refined sugar, white sugar. It's nothing new that it's bad for your body. It creates sugar cravings, it leads you to eat more and more, and it's highly inflammatory. Then we have white flour, wheat, especially very refined, so milled very, very finely, so you have basically just the carbs, you barely have any minerals or nutrients in there. It's also very inflammatory. On top of that, wheat is highly modified, so even if the inflammatory aspect wasn't there, it's not the best flour to use. Other flours are inflammatory too, but not to the same extent, and they don't tend to be modified as much. So it's good to opt for, first of all, whole grains, and then second of all, more rare flours such as spelt or einkorn or rye. Those are much better options for bread or cake or whatever. Then I already mentioned it with the sugar and the inflammatory oils is ready-made foods, highly processed foods. Because of the ingredients, a lot of the oils, the sugars, but also other ingredients, there's usually trans fats in there, there's tons of E numbers. Like if you eat it once in a while because you really don't have the time, okay. But there are ways to avoid them and still eat well without spending a lot of time in the kitchen. And it's really, in my opinion, it's really poison for you. The next food that is also often present in this highly processed food is cheap meat. And most meat that you get in the supermarkets and everything, it's cheap. It's very high in omega-6, the ratio to omega-3 is really, really bad. The only meat that I would say is better from an inflammatory standpoint is meat from cows that have been outside, grass-fed, really naturally raised, because they have a much better ratio of omega-6 to omega-3. It's not as good as it is in fish, but it's still a much, much better choice. And that already goes on top of the problem of how bad meat is for the environment and also ethically what it means to eat animals. And then I want to talk about eggs a bit. Eggs, I've read a lot about eggs that it's really triggering. There was a time for me where it was a very triggering food. So with eggs you really need to see and listen to yourself. Generally the eggs that come from those places where the chickens never see the sunlight, they have very little space, they get fed with hormonal foods and I don't even know what. If you go for organic eggs, especially if you have a neighbor who you know that they are outside every day and they are treated well, that's something else. So go with your feeling, go with your body, what your body tells you eggs could be okay or not. So, and let's go to the foods that you should eat. I already started talking about them a little bit. Oh no, the sun is coming out. Yeah, vegetables oils such as olive, coconut and avocado are really good. I tend to use avocado and coconut for different things and that's all I need in cooking. Vegetables are good and healthy for you for so many reasons, and it's just eat loads of vegetables. If you load up on vegetables, you will eat less of what could be problematic for your body. And most people, even people who have gut issues, can handle vegetables. If you're used to not eating any veggies, then maybe it's not the best thing to start eating lots of raw vegetables right away, because your digestive system might be overwhelmed by the sudden amount of fiber. So it's good to maybe to start a bit slower there and to slowly introduce. Some people need some time to be able to digest. So back to sugar. Sugar in its natural form is not really inflammatory. It's like berries, fruits, dates, not in kilos maybe, because they still act on your blood sugar, but much less than refined sugar. And then I already talked about whole grains. For some people even whole grains are triggering, so be aware of what your body wants and not what type of grains you divert more to, which type of grains you feel like maybe you should leave it out for a while. Then of course nuts and seeds are really healthy for you. They have a lot of good oils. Bear in mind that some seeds are problematic for some people. Some seeds need to be shredded before you can digest them, like flax seeds. Some seeds still have anti-nutrients. I talked about anti-nutrients in my previous video for legumes. You can take those out too by watering, but if you water your nuts, they are not gonna be crunchy anymore, so you need to crunch them up again in the pan or in the oven. Then you have legumes as a protein source is really good, but again, previous video to figure out how to get rid of the anti-nutrients and to eat them properly. Then we have wild fish, which is by itself very anti-inflammatory and very healthy. The problem nowadays is just there's a lot of plastic pollution and a lot of heavy metal pollution, so you need to weigh out what you want. And of course, again, you have the question of, do you want to eat an animal? So, and then I will show you my anti-inflammatory salad. Enjoy! So, let's start with the salad. So I have kale here that I ripped up really small. I'm gonna put this all in there. And then I will add some lemon juice. And then I will add some olive oil and some raw apple cider vinegar. And then I'm gonna go ahead and massage the kale for like 1 to 2 minutes. You can feel it becoming soft quite quickly usually. Now this is massaged properly, so I can add in the rest of the ingredients, which are shredded carrots and shredded beetroot. And then I roasted my broccoli. And it's still warm, and it's actually, especially with a winter salad, it's nice to combine raw with slightly cooked warm veggies, because it makes it a bit warmer and not so cold. And then I will add cut up dates and some vinegar, honey, garlic that I fermented for a few months. It's still in its raw form, but fermented, so it's very healthy. And some parsley. You can of course add different types of herbs, you can add different types of cabbage, you can maybe decide to cook the beetroot or cook the carrot, like however you like. And now we'll make the vinaigrette. We'll add some honey. Honey is highly anti-inflammatory and antibacterial, antiviral, all of the good stuff. And then some more olive oil, some vinegar, not as much as olive oil, we don't want it too sour. Some salt, and pepper, and some cumin. And here I have a mixture of turmeric and algae. So I will add like a tablespoon of this. It's one of the most anti-inflammatory herbs. And the algae is good for the iodine. Now we can add this over our salad. I decided to make as a grain some quinoa. You can add other grains, but yeah, avoid the inflammatory ones obviously. And then I roasted some nuts in the pan. So let's try. So, and that was it for today. I hope you liked the salad. I hope you will try it out. I hope you will try out, reduce some things, change some things. You could try turmeric. I'm really interested. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your body tells you. It's very interesting to me, and I hope you have a nice day and you have some nice sun, and bye bye!